try to tell somebody to be quiet? Do you have an action? Shh.
Yes, we Korean. Also
In Korean?
She likes to be quiet.
Oh, okay. So you also do that in Korea. Okay. How about in some other places? Some of you come from different places. What do you have to say?
Hong Kong is the same.
Hong Kong, you do the same. You say shh. Okay, thank you. Who else is from a different place?
Yeah, India is the same, but maybe because of the British influence.
So what do you do? Show me how you show us how you tell us to be quiet. Oh, very good. Okay. Anybody else want to share? What do you do in your country when you want somebody to be quiet? So maybe it's universal, at least among those of you who shared your idea. So when we talk about this pronunciation, we have to think of the specific articulation points. But before I talk about it, I think I will get really close and you can see the words as I say them, okay? So I'm going to say these words and you can watch as... Now these words are the words that you already know. They're in your book and they're on your DVD, right? But now I'm going to let you see them up a little bit more closely and you can observe, you can listen, and you can look at the same time. And don't speak now. I'll repeat them for you to speak later, okay? So the first time, just observe. And if you want to whisper or quietly say it into your mirror, then that will be okay. But don't say it aloud. She, shade, show, shoe, ash, dish, crash, wash, wishing, special, machine, Washington, ocean, eruption, destruction, illusion. Shh. Do you hear the friction? Do you hear some friction in the sound? Shh. There's air, pressure, that's coming between your teeth, but it's going over your tongue. So then you have to raise the sides of your tongue, so that they touch the gum ridge on the sides of your teeth. And then when you put your teeth close to each other, nearly together, but not all the way. So separate your lips. Now, I want to make sure that you're not using your lips to make the sound. Some people I notice will go like this with the lips, and you say shh. Well, it's not, that would be a different sound than just the shh sound. So if you can first mobilize your tongue and put your tongue in the position where it can actually see, so curl up a little bit, shh, shh, and then let that air friction come between where that goes over the tongue and out through the teeth, and you'll have the sound shh. All right, now I want everyone to say this sound and look in your mirror and look at the relaxation in your lips. Shh. Shh. Let me hear you say shh. 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 All right, now let me hear you say it this way. She. 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 Now, can you hear the difference between 1, S-E-E, C, and 2, S-H-E, she? Let's try. Let's find out if you're able to hear the difference between C and she. So let me say a word, and you show me with your fingers which sound you hear. Are you ready? Your fingers are ready? Put them up really close to your camera so I can see them. C. Don't be shy. Some of you aren't showing me your fingers. Put your finger up in front of the camera so I can see it. Ready? She. she, see, see, she, 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 see, she, see, she. How did you do? Are you doing okay? Anybody want to say anything?
Yes.
You're doing all right? Anybody having trouble hearing it?
Yes.
You have trouble hearing it?
Yeah, I really couldn't.
You couldn't hear the difference. Okay, let me try with a different word. S-O, so. S-H-O-W, show. Ready? So. So. Show. So. Show. Show. So. Show. Show. So. Show. How did you do there?
This is easy, I think.
Was that easier?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's give another one. I'm going to try this one. S-A-I-D, said. What did you say? I said. S-H-E-D, shed. Are you ready? Said. Shed. Shed. Said. Said. Shed. Shed. Said. Shed. Said. Shed. How did you do? Is that okay?
Yes, I think the first one, she was, I couldn't distinguish,
she
but others are okay.
And see, she, see, see, she, see. Okay, now, in the pronunciation, in the articulation of these two sounds, for the s sound, your tongue needs to be closer to your teeth. S. And for the sh sound, your tongue needs to be a little bit farther away. So it creates a different sound. There's more air, there's more space for the air to travel through. See. Repeat. See. She. Repeat. See. She. Repeat. Said. Shed. Said. Shed. Repeat. So. Show. So. Show. All right, now let's try to focus on the sh sound. We'll use the words that are in the book on page 122. She. She. Shade. Shade. Show. show, shoe, shoe. Ash, ash. Dish, dish. Crash, crash. Wash, wash. Wishing, wishing. Special, special. Machine, machine. Washington, Washington. Ocean, ocean. Eruption, eruption. Destruction, destruction. Illusion, illusion. Okay? How are you doing? Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say like dish, crash, wash, is this okay? Like shoot?
Oh, okay. So when you say wash, do you need to put your lips forward like this? Wash.
Yes. Is this okay?
No.
Is this same?
No.
Oh.
We don't need to do this. Watch me. This is one way I see sometimes people think when we say sh sound, lots of times we make the sound with the lips rounded, but that's not really a necessary part of the sound. So for example, sometimes I see people say the word she, S-H-E, like she has a shoe. Sometimes I see people say shoe, but this is not the right shape. Do you remember from connected speech, you heard one of our speakers. Now I can't remember her name. She talked about being deaf. What was her name? Do you remember which one? Do you remember who I'm talking about? She talked about growing up in a deaf family. Do you remember? She talked about the importance of lip shape because deaf people need to guess what you are saying by reading lips. Now you can hear me. You are hearing. So now you can use your eyes and your ears. But if you are deaf, then you only have this part. So she said, if you make the mistake and you use rounded lips to say shoe, she has a shoe, then a deaf person will think you're saying the word shoe because shoe has the oo sound instead of the sound she where the e is here. So we need to pay attention to the vowel. We need to pay attention to the vowel. And we don't want to say shu, we want to say she. In English, there's no sound u, shu. We don't have u in English. So shu does not make sense in English. We have to say she. So a lot of maybe Cantonese speakers will say this incorrectly. Now, as far as when the sound sh comes at the end of a word like wash and dish, notice how relaxed my cheeks are. I don't need to go wash. Now, what happens in Japanese? In Japanese, we don't have a consonant at the end. In Japanese, we have consonant vowel.
Right.
Everything is consonant vowel. Not only in Japanese, but in many world languages, we have consonant vowel. So we have a vowel at the end. So one tendency for speakers of Japanese and some other languages is to add a vowel syllable after the end, like So dishu, washu. Right? Is this common pronunciation? Yeah. Okay, so I have to washu my dishu. And there's a at the end of it. Well, we don't want to do that in English. So we don't want to put a vowel on it. We just let the sh come out. Wash. Look at your lips in your mirror. Can you see the lips relaxed here? For the ah sound. Ah, wash, wash. Wash the dishes. Not wash the dishes. You don't have to put lips here. Okay? Wash the dishes. Got it? So that's a good
Yes,
question about
thank
how.
you.
All right, good. Any other questions about how to pronounce this sound?